Hi friends. Okay, I'm sorry for the amount of sit down, look at me talk videos, but I feel like they're imperative right now, and this isn't fully going to be that, but I have an update from the last video, which was let's talk about parasites. I feel like because it was mainly the bulk of it was a theorizing video, a lot of people didn't watch the last clip, which sheds a lot of light onto this video that we're going to talk about and what's actually going on. So we're obviously concerned about parasites, right? We told you that we took in Gus's fecal sample. In the end of that video, I said the results of his fecal, and so I'm probably going to talk about a lot of the same things, but in a more tailored way. I'm going to try to do it as quick as possible, I promise, but I feel like it's important. So here's what we've been concerned about. Of course, parasites. How do we tell parasites if there's no clinical symptoms? How do we tell parasite levels so we don't get to the point where we have the runs and we're already too late? Because a lot of times once the goats show the clinical symptoms, meaning the diarrhea and the really, really, really pale eyes, lethargic fevers, all of those things, you're really in the danger zone at that point and it might be too late. It's not always, but more often than not it is, okay? So, how do we check? Y'all know we've been checking the FAMACHAs. If you don't remember what FAMACHA is, I'm going to put the chart right here. I promise I'm actually going to do it this time. You pull back down the eyelid on the goats and you expose the third mucous membrane. And this chart ranges on from a 5 to a 1. 5 being super, super red, meaning you have super oxygenated red blood cells, which means you are not anemic. Anemia is what will kill your goats second to parasites. The parasites make them anemic and the anemia is what actually kills them. I know I've already said this. He's already said this. We've said it 1,000 times. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna put you right here. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm gonna be really thorough and I'm gonna talk with my hands. So 5, really, really good. Really good. And like I said, I'm putting the chart here so you'll be able to see. Obviously, as you go down, you get to a 3, and Dr. Cochran will tell you that we're even debating if you need to, deworm them yet. But you need to start being aware. 2, you definitely should deworm them, and you're getting to the danger zone. 1, they say it's fatal. I've seen goats come back from it, but it's not foolproof. It's not 100% guaranteed, okay? So, how do we check with us being paranoid? We've been checking FAMACHAs like every day.
You think I can just fall asleep right here?
Maybe. We're exhausted. We just got back from our 20-hour trip to Alabama. So, this is where we came up with what we think is the solution kind of to what's going on. So, what led us to take Gus's fecal sample is, and we checked his FAMACHA, and he was starting to go down the chart and starting to get to a 3, maybe even a 2.5. And we're like, okay, something's wrong. He's got parasites. Let's get his fecal in because that's how you tell their parasite load. Let's take it in and get him the wormers he needs confirmed so we're not overworming him. We took his fecal in. This is the important part, y'all. He had some parasites, okay? He had 3 eggs per gram? 3.
I don't remember.
Literally, she said barely any, okay? So now it's like, what are we scared about now? Well, why is Gus paler? He's not completely white. He's still got a red tint. Why is he pale, but there's no parasites? So what could be the problem? Okay, let's go down the list. Lice. No, I just deloused them. They didn't have any lice.
We don't live near the woods anyway.
We don't have lice problems. We get a few, but not anything crazy. No infestations. So it's not lice. It's not coccidia. It's not barber pole. It's not, when I say parasites, I mean hook, round, tape, coccidia, and barber pole worms. It's not any of those. So what is it? Could it be a mineral deficiency? No, we have mineral blocks. Could it be just any kind of protein deficiency? No, they're getting what they need from their food. Okay, so what is it? And you can understand, as an animal owner, that's extremely frustrating. And so we've been panicking. We've been trying to find out, what are we going to do? What can we get? What can we do to make them? Do we need to give them more B12? We were even talking about, technically nothing's wrong with Gus right now. The only thing is he's slightly going down the charts. And we're like, let's take him in. But then we're also like, but are we going to get, every time we get a little bit scared, are you going to take your animal in? That's not realistic. That's not feasible. You can't do that. It's a little paranoid. But on our 20-hour road trip, bless our emu, because I feel like she has came into our life for
2 purposes.
For 2 purposes. we were talking about all the things, and we were talking about which goats we typically have to watch a little bit more. And that's normally Gus, Ursula, Little Mama, Flower. It used to be Thumper. And then we were talking about, well, let's think about like, what's the hydration situation? And then it was like, ding, ding, ding. We looked up. Can dehydration, can lack of water intake cause anemia? And in goats, it can make their anemia levels fluctuate very, very easily. They are very blood sensitive. And I was like, wait a second. Which goats do we notice drink a whole lot of water? Hero, Angel, Weta, Cupid,
Thumper.
Bo, Thumper, now Flower. Those 7 goats, Carrie and Walter, those goats, they all have beautiful red eyes. Who isn't drinking as much water? Who is just not interested in water intake? Gus, Ursula, Old Mama, Little Mama. Guys, I think we need them to drink more. So now you're like, how? Are you not giving them enough water? Oh, no. They have access to not 1, but 2 ponds and a huge water sources, just water sources everywhere. But goats can be picky, and we clean our waters a lot, right? But just like people, sometimes you forget to drink water. Sometimes you forget to stay hydrated. I'm the worst about it. But we are not as sensitive as goats are. We are not. We just aren't. And we're not outside all day either. So we are going to go to Tractor Supply. We're going to get a lot more water sources. We're going to get a lot more water containers, ones that are easier to clean. We're just going to beef it up. And here's the trick. We're going to not switch off of our mineral blocks, but we're going to get salt blocks.
Make them more thirsty.
Make them more thirsty to drink more water. And we are going to see if that improves it. I also have BioWormer coming in. Today is Sunday, so I have BioWormer coming in on Wednesday, so that's just going to help. I explained a little bit of what that is. But what do you do if your goat's fecal isn't showing parasites, but you see their anemia levels changing? I think this is our problem. So maybe it's not the fainters, because we looked it up and supposedly they're more resistant to parasites, which is crazy. But I noticed we really sat down and really talked about it, and we're like, man, Hero drinks an absurd amount of water, Angel drinks an absurd amount of water, and Thumper drinks an absurd amount of water. And those are the 3 that are the most red.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's water. So we're going to beef up our water. We're going to beef up the salt licks and practically force them to drink more water. So I hope this is it. It may not be. I will tell you, you can even say my behavior was very different after we talked about it. I got this unexplainable wave of peace, just really unexplainable, and just really like it clicked, and it just felt like it was a message or a sign. Maybe it's not, maybe it is. Believe what you want to believe, but I'm going to take it as a sign. And this is what we're going to try next. Of course, we're also going to look into Lyme and all those things to just help beef up our pasture. But Gus didn't have a parasite load. They even said you can't treat him right now. You can't. I mean, I guess you literally can, but you can't. Do not treat him.
Yeah.
So, I think it's hydration. Do you have anything to say?
I think that you were super well said and well spoken, concise in 8 minutes. That might have been your best spoken video yet, brother.
I'm so sorry that I rambled.
That's what happens when you find something you're passionate and you love.
Well, you have to think. I've been extremely scared, extremely paranoid.
That's what I was going to say.
Traumatized.
Is that you've been on edge for the past 5 or 6 months about, I guess, ever since we've had a few that passed.
Ever since Okie. Well, it started with Okie.
Yeah.
And I know that the Okie thing is a little, what happened with Okie, unfortunately, it doesn't make it okay, but it's been happening to alpacas all over the U.S. Y'all know that.
Who's to say Okie wasn't drinking enough water himself?
He may not have been drinking enough water either. I don't know. But you cannot force an animal to drink water, so don't...
Yeah, it's not anybody's fault. It's just like humans, you don't always think to drink water until you get dehydrated, but we're just not as sensitive. Longhorns, cows, Ziggy, I'm sure.
They're more resistant. They're bigger animals. Yeah. They're more resistant.
Yeah, all sorts of it. Everybody forgets to drink water sometimes, but it just affects some worse than others.
And goats are extremely sensitive. We know that. So I'm sorry to talk your ear off, but I feel like I feel really gratified I wish there was a creator that, like, I guess I wish I saw it more, you know? If I want to watch a video on understanding goats, I have to look it up. But I wish there was somebody that I was watching, like, when I was younger that was going through this, and so I could have got the knowledge earlier, you know? And so I'm hoping that if somebody else starts to struggle with this, maybe this is a thing we need to change, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we are fighting an uphill battle with our ground. I'm not saying our ground is not a problem. Our ground is 100% a struggle. It is.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. We work through it. Like I said, we're already thinking about, is it diatomaceous earth, if that's how you say it, lime treatments. We drag the pastures a lot. It actually kills our grass when we drag the pastures.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it really...
If you don't want to overdo it, then you'll be hurting your own cause.
Yeah, we keep the grass at an appropriate level. We have 2 pastures that we rotate, so pastures heal. We're doing everything we can to fight it, but I think that this might be something that kind of puts us at ease when we're not, like, when we think our goats' FAMACHA is trending downwards, because I feel like our thing is we see they're trending downwards, and then I'm like, yep, I'm jumping to worm them. Okay, well, if they don't have a high fecal load, if they don't have a high parasite load in their fecal, I'm hurting my own cause and building up their resistance to that, and I don't want to do that. So that's what we're going to do, and hopefully we will see a trend in upwards in high red blood cells, very red eyes. I will keep y'all updated on it. I'm excited.
I'm sure we will.
I'm excited.
Because it's not a coincidence that all the ones that don't drink end up being a little more pale than the ones that drink a lot. Mm-hmm. Maybe one thing if it was kind of like hit or miss and stuff, but literally
it's consistent.
It correlates perfectly.
It is the only thing that makes sense. And when I was talking about mineral deficiencies and protein deficiencies, Gus never misses a meal. Gus is one of those that bullies in the middle. So you can't say that Gus isn't getting his portion, because we even talked about that. We're like, is the ones that are pale not getting enough? Is that the problem? No, because the ones that are pale get enough food. Trust me. And so you would think if we've got a mineral deficiency problem, no
one would look at Gus and Ursula and question, are they eating enough?
Oh, no. They are easily our fattest goats. Easily. And so that said, if we had a deficiency problem of protein, mineral, whatever you want to call it, copper, anything, the whole herd would have it. But that's not the case. So the only thing that makes sense right now is water intake. And we're going to beef that up. So come to Tractor Supply with us and let's see what we can find. I would like to formally apologize. I didn't video a single thing in Tractor Supply, but we did find a white salt block. We also found one that has copper in it, but you know, we try to limit the copper intake because of Angel. Sheep are not supposed to have a whole lot of copper. But yeah, I'm sure some of y'all can relate to this. When the weather changes, if you have like a bum knee, kind of like I do, it starts to hurt. So I apologize that I did not video anything in Tractor Supply, but we got 1, 2, 3 or 4
You can go make a video of what we have in the back. I meant from the outside. I don't think we can see.
Nah.
No, we're too injured.
No. It's okay. But I'll show you more tomorrow when we get everything set up. But we did find a salt block. Very happy about that. Okay, so my first new water source, new little tub we got was this, and I'm going to have 2 over here because throughout the day, you know, we come and we fill them up multiple times, but we have dogs in here. Look at that little pig. Bree's little pig right there has come in here. I don't know what it's doing, but so anyways, I'm gonna have 2 here, and also the sun hits this one all the time and it gets a little warm. This one is more shaded, so a lot better for that one. We'll have 2 here, and then I'm going to put the salt block. I have to clean the ground first, but I'm not even going to put it on the ground. But that's like my next chore is to clean the ground. But I'm going to get not the ground, but the concrete right here. But I'm going to put something like right there to kind of suspend it off the ground. And then the salt lick will be here right next to 2 waters. So I think that will be really good. And that's just new water number 1. Let's go. Ooh, socks. You coming to get some water out of the new water? Yeah. Oh, there goes my clean water with all that dirt in it. That's farm life, y'all. That right there. You fill up a brand new water, and then your pig will come in with a dirty mouth, and then he dirties up the water. Or maybe if he's feeling like it, he'll jump in the water that day. Who knows? Socks is a real fan of jumping in this water. Aren't you? Do you want me to give you a little bath? Okay, so right now we're dragging. We don't drag every single day, but we try to drag every other day, because when you do drag, it does ruffle up your grass as well as the poop. But we're going ahead and dragging now. That's another thing we're doing just to keep the pastures healthy. That's what you got to do, especially when you have multiple animals using the bathroom on it. But
a little more often with the donkeys. Their piles are a lot bigger.
Their piles are a lot bigger. Okay, our next water's going right here. You're probably thinking, why are you filling that up with a bucket instead of our hose? Our compressor is out for this well, and so we have to get any waters over here. We kind of have to do it this way. Credit to Miss Chocolate the rabbit. She chewed a wire.
All of it?
Yeah, all of it. Okay, for now, that's good. They're not even on this pasture right now, but now we're gonna get some more, finish filling that up, and moving on to the next one. Okay, here's our salt block, lifted off the ground. Here's the goats, here's the water. Now remember, y'all, I just want to reiterate, this is what we're doing right here is not for parasite control. Not for parasite control, because yes, we are doing things for parasite control, but what we have been so concerned with was looking at, actually, can you come do Gus's eyes so they can see?
Yeah.
I'll show you right here exactly what I mean. Remember, as I said in the beginning of this video, Gus had his fecal sample taken, what day? Like Thursday? Something?
Still Gus.
So you can see, oh.
We're getting better.
Wow, he's getting a lot better. Okay, but.
He was a 2, which is bad, like 2 days ago, but now he's like a 3.5.
Starting to get better.
Like a 3.5 or a 4 now, which is very good.
And so.
I'd say a 4 even.
Yeah, he looks really good. But we were just, like I said before, I think I explained it really well, but I just want to reiterate it again. We were having friends showing a symptom as if they had parasites, but they weren't, because they didn't have parasite
And
level.
that's what a 5 looks like.
5,
and
that's
what you always want right there.
He drinks so much water. He's very consistent about doing that.
Yeah, we got the salt block for the goats. And look who are.
Phoebe's already on it.
Oh no. You okay?
Who was that?
We probably made someone faint.
Sorry, we just had to see what that noise was. But like I said, this is our solving for what's looking like low FAMACHA scores, low anemia levels, when no parasites are present. Because if I see a 2 in the FAMACHA, with the way our ground is, it is my gut instinct to assume he's got parasites. I need to treat him before it gets bad. Thank goodness we took his sample in, and so we were able to tell that it wasn't that, and that's what's led us to this possible hydration, lack of hydration problem. They have plenty of water, but like I said, you've got to incentivize them to do it. So that's what we're doing. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch y'all next time with another one. Bye, friends.